Hello and welcome to the official start of this webinar, of today's SE Cockpit webinar, which is going to be mainly a Q&A session. So I hope you have some questions ready for us. Just a very quick introduction. On the left side you see Sam. Sam Haney is the main developer behind SE Cockpit and behind Swissmade Marketing. And on the right side, that's me. I'm Shane and I'm doing this introduction bit right now. Now, here's a quick overview over what I want to talk about today. One of the things I want to talk about very quickly is buying keywords, because I've gotten quite a few questions and comments about buying keywords or keywords with commercial intent lately. So that's something I want to address. Then we're going to just show you SE Cockpit demos. I'm going to show you how this thing works, and I assume you've already seen it. But we're going to show you some stuff, how to find good keywords, basically. And we're going to do Q&A, and this is the main part. I haven't prepared a lot today because really the main part is I want to be answering your questions, and I want to build the content around what you need and what you want to hear. So I also assume for this that you've seen the 3 videos that we put out before we launched SE Cockpit, because I put out these 3 videos, which were, there was some stuff about the Panda update, there was some important information about keyword research, some important basics, and I'm not going to cover all of that again. Now, if you have not seen these videos, what I will do is I will send out a link. When I send out the link to the recording of this webinar, this session, I'm going to send out a link to these 3 videos as well, so you have that for reference. Okay. But just so you know, I'm not going to cover all of the theory that I covered in these videos. Now, let's get right to it. Buying keywords. When you learn about keyword research and you learn about SEO, I think there's often an emphasis on the importance of finding buying keywords, or keywords with commercial intent, right? Keywords where the person typing in that keyword is likely to want to buy. So as a simple example, if someone types in shoes as a search term, that's not a buying keyword, because that person could be looking for anything, and they might not, they might not have the intention of buying a pair of shoes at all. Someone types in something like running shoes for women, that's much more likely to be a commercial keyword because it's specific. Okay, and that's one of the things about buying keywords in general. The more specific a search term is, the more likely it is to be a buying keyword. And then finally, of course, if someone types in something like where to buy running shoes, that's clearly someone who is ready to buy, credit card in hand. It's clearly a buying keyword. And it's important to know about this. And this is an important factor to consider, of course. But I think that there's a bit of a miscommunication in there as well, because I think there's a lot of training material out there that puts a lot of emphasis on buying keywords and keywords with commercial intent, to the degree that it seems some people think that's the only keywords you can make money off. So it's not quite right to say that you need to find buying keywords, that you need to, that this is like the make or break criteria for a keyword. What's important is to know about keyword types and to match up your keyword types to your offer. And yeah, when I say buying keywords, I mean that it's a keyword where the person typing in that keyword is likely to want to make a purchase, is likely to be ready to spend money. And this is important if we get paid when someone buys something. Excuse my common sense, right? It's important to find buying keywords if we're promoting something as an affiliate where we get paid once someone makes a purchase. Then buying keywords are important to target. So if you have a review site, for example, where you review products and you get paid whenever someone makes a purchase, then you want to find buying keywords. But that's not the only type of, that's not the only way you can make money off of a website. Just a few alternatives. The first one, AdSense. Everybody knows about AdSense. Sometimes there are AdSense keywords, keywords where you get a good earnings per click, even though it's not a very commercial keyword. Okay, And so with AdSense, it doesn't really matter whether the keyword is commercial or not. What matters is, do I get a good earnings per click? Or so is the cost per click, is that relatively high for this keyword or not? Then we have CPA offers. With CPA offers, that's cost per action. You can often get paid just for referring someone, just for getting someone to fill out a form. You know, maybe they have to fill out a form, a zip submit offer, for example, where the first step in a process is they type in their zip code, and then they get a localized offer, and you get paid as soon as they type in their zip code. So there again, these people don't have to be in a buying mood for you to make money, right? They only have to make that first step, and you already get paid. With CPA offers, you also sometimes there's things like free downloads. If you get someone to download something for free, you get paid. So again, you definitely don't need buying keywords for that. Display advertising. This is for if you have websites, and I think for a while this was more fashionable to do than it is now. But if you have websites that are like riding on a trend wave, let's say celebrity-related websites that tend to get a lot of traffic relatively easily. Especially if you're among the first to, grab like a celebrity-related domain name just as they're becoming really famous. It's pretty easy to get traffic for that. And that's usually going to be very, very non-commercial traffic. But you can, for example, simply sell advertising space and, let the advertisers figure it out. And that's a way you can monetize sites like that as well, apart from also CPA offers. And there's lead generation. You can do lead generation for other people, sell leads to other people. And depending on what their company is, you don't need buying keywords, you don't need commercial keywords. And even if you do it for yourself, if you're building your own mailing list, often you don't need, the whole point of lead generation is you get people to your site, you sign them up to a mailing list, and then you work, you basically send them through a process. You send them messages that kind of warm them up to an offer, so you can convert them from browsers to buyers, for example. Content blocking is another thing that I have to say I have personally not used content blocking myself, but content blocking is basically that you have a piece of content, let's say a video on your site, and whenever people visit that video, they first have to fill out a little survey or something before they can access your content. And whenever they fill out that survey, you get paid. Okay. And of course, then there's local marketing. Again, if you're doing local marketing for a local business, then often it's not only a matter of finding commercially important keywords, but also of finding branding keywords. You want to make sure that that local business has top listings for its brand type searches and for its service type searches, even if those aren't commercially important, because it's kind of a branding thing. They want to have that presence in the search engines. So those are just a few examples of ways of monetizing a website, or ways of monetizing a website that don't require that you find buying keywords or that you find commercial keywords. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. And there's another important factor here that's especially since the Panda update. I think this has become more important, because with the Panda update, what we have is, or since the Panda update rather, we have more, we have a greater importance on your entire website for the performance of the individual pages on your website. So if you have a website and let's say you have 3 target pages on your website, and each target page is optimized for a buying keyword. Let's say each of these pages is a product review, all right? Product review where you know the keyword gets a decent amount of searches and you get paid whenever someone clicks through your review to the product and buys it. And that's fine. But especially post-Panda, you probably want to have some additional content on this site. You don't really want to have a 3-page site. So you'd have additional pages, and it used to be before Panda, and I used to do this myself as well, is that you could just throw in filler content. You could just get, you could plug your site into some blog network and accept rubbish articles all day long, and you'd have your 3 target pages. Those would be well optimized, good content. You'd build backlinks to those, and then you just have filler in the background, which is basically crap, and just to make your site look bigger. And Google would see, okay, those pages are crap and wouldn't rank them, but you don't care because you only want to rank your target pages anyway. But now, if Google sees, okay, there's a lot of low value, low quality content on this site, they can actually basically apply a penalty to your entire site and not rank your good pages either. So now you kind of want to have good relevant pages as filler as well. And one of the things you can go after is Q&A type content and frequently asked questions. If you can find out, and keyword research is great for that because people often type questions into Google to find an answer. So you can find out what relevant questions, what popular common questions do people have in this niche, and make pages answering those questions. And those will not be those will not be pages that will convert extremely well for you. Those will not be pages where you'll make a lot of sales and a lot of money off of them, but they will add to the quality of your overall site. Plus, they will attract some extra traffic. Some of the people coming in, once their question is answered, they might go to your review and buy the product, right? Some of them. But mainly, you're making your site better and more relevant, and you're attracting extra traffic, and basically giving your site a better standing in Google's eyes. Top 10 lists are these are like traffic magnets, right? Top 10 lists. Nobody ever buys anything from a top 10 list, I think. But great traffic generation thing. People like them. People tend to tweet them and share them and whatnot. So add some top 10 lists in there. And anything else, anything else that is a non-buying keyword. If you find a good keyword, good search volume, low competition, go ahead and add a page about that, even if it's not a commercial keyword, because all you're doing with these pages is you're promoting your actual commercial pages, your actual pages where you get the good conversions from. Okay, so let me just scan through the questions really quickly to see if there are any questions about this. All right. So I think what I'm really just trying to say is, because as I said, I got a lot of questions about buying keywords. Don't let that. While that's important, if you're doing affiliate promotions, don't let it distract you from other interesting opportunities that are to be found. So now let me quickly hop into SE Cockpit and. Having said all that, right, I don't want to discount the importance of commercial keywords, because, as I said, if you're promoting some type of product, whether it's a digital product or a physical product where you get paid whenever someone makes a purchase, then that's an important factor to look out for. So in SE Cockpit, I would like to show you how you can determine how commercial a keyword is. I'm just going to do a very broad search for something like skincare here. Just going to start a search on this and show you a few ways in which you can take a look at a keyword list and find out where the commercial intent is, where the most commercially interesting keywords are. Now, the first thing is, if we look at a list of results here, we have something like skincare tips, which is probably an information-seeking keyword. So the first thing is that you can simply look at the keywords and kind of tell, just using common sense, I guess, what is bound to be a buying keyword and what isn't. So something like skincare tips, someone's looking for free advice, most likely. And then we have skincare products and best skincare products, which are very commercial keywords, right? People looking for actual products. And once again, best skincare products for women, this is fantastic. If you look at the traffic here, if we look at this, monthly searches, 6,500 for best skincare products, and then 1,900 for best skincare products for women, I would much rather have a top ranking for this keyword than for this one, because it's so much more specific. You can target the site and the page to this specific keyword much better than you can to just best skincare products. And so I would rather have these. So here we see that we can get probably about 30 visitors a day if we get a top ranking for this keyword. Here we can get almost 100 a day. I would rather have these 30 visitors a day than these 100 visitors a day, because I think these will make me more money. And as you can see from the competition bars, it's actually going to be easier to rank for best skincare products for women. On that note, I can't believe that this keyword is so easy to rank for. This is a good keyword. It's a really good keyword. All right, so someone just said, Jared just said, I don't have your common sense. That's fair enough. So let me give you a guideline. The first thing I've already talked about, the more specific a keyword is, the more likely people are wanting to buy something. Anything that indicates products, that could be product names, or here we have Shiseido skincare. I think that's a brand name. Brand names are also interesting. Any specific product names or specific brand names are always interesting. And modifiers like for women, for men, for children, and so on are also interesting. And modifiers like, of course, where to buy or coupon or best deals or cheap, anything like that is also an indicator for a buying keyword. All right. What was I saying? Yes, one more thing I wanted to show before I'm going to take a break here. It seems like I've been talking nonstop for a while now. If you go and activate extra columns, up here you can always activate more columns to look at. And if you go and activate those, you can get AdWords Competition. And the AdWords Competition value tells you how many AdWords advertisers are bidding for being listed in Google for a specific keyword. So if I type in something like best skincare products into Google, let's see what happens. I'm in Switzerland, so I won't see all of the advertisers, but I'm going to try anyway. Skincare products. Okay, so here I only see one single advertiser, but that's because my IP is from Switzerland, and these people don't really want to be displayed to Swiss people, right? So if you did the same search in Google, you'd get a lot more advertisers here. And the more people are paying for these paid listings, the more likely it is that it's a commercial keyword, because there wouldn't be a lot of advertisers bidding for the keyword usually if no one's actually making purchases pretty soon after they click through on one of these keywords. Does that make sense? So with the AdWords Competition, the higher this orange bar is, the more competitors there are, the more people are bidding on this keyword in AdWords. And that's an indication, again, it's an indication that it's probably more of a commercial keyword. And as you can see, if we look at skincare tips here, this is a relatively low value. And if we look at Shiseido skincare, it's pretty high value. So that's another indicator. So if you want to get rid of the non-commercial keywords, what you can do is you can add a filter here, and this orange bar is a value from, it's an arbitrary value from 0 to 100. So you can say I only want to see keywords with more than, I don't know, more than 75 maybe on this bar. Get rid of everything else. So now you have a list of keywords that are pretty highly commercial, and it's still a large list, so I'm going to increase that to maybe 85. Let's see. Okay, so it's still 100 keywords, so a lot of commercially interesting keywords. So now I could start kicking out keywords with low search volume and see what's left. Okay, so I think I've just been talking nonstop for a while now, but that covers the commercial keyword stuff that I wanted to talk about. Now I'm going to see if there's any questions about that, and then we can move on to more stuff. Sam, any comments?
Yeah, no, I think your approach is really understandable. Maybe we could just sort of summarize, all of that knowledge you've just passed on. So to sort of sum up, a buying keyword, go for product names, okay? I think you said for number one, product names is a really good buying keyword. Number two, the more specific a keyword is, the more likely it's a buying keyword.
Mm-hmm.
Number three, the more people who are placing ads for a keyword, the more likely it is that it's a buying keyword. And would you agree, number four, that the higher the CPC value, the more likely it's a buying keyword as well?
Yes, that's true, yes.
Because the more people that are bidding on the keyword, the higher the CPC value gets, and so the more likely it's a buyer's keyword, because otherwise no one would be bidding for it, I guess.
That's true, yeah. That's true. The correlation isn't as great as with the... I've found the correlation isn't as good as with the competitor value, but it's a general trend as well, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now, Rick asks, any tricks for monetizing these buying keywords? If you don't start with a product already in mind that you want to promote, the easiest way usually is just to go. One thing you can do is you can always search for fitting products in the in marketplaces that like ClickBank and CJ. CJ is a pretty good. If you just go to cj.com, this is a marketplace, an affiliate marketplace. You can go in there and see if there are products you can promote. Another thing you can do is just go to Google and say, let's say skincare affiliate program, and as you can see, there's no shortage here of people who would like you to become their affiliate to promote a skincare product. And you can generally do that. Well, that's the first thing to do. If I find a keyword where I think, wow, that's an interesting keyword, but I have no idea what to promote, then I check if I could use just AdSense to monetize it, and then I just go and type in keyword affiliate program, and you'd be surprised all of the stuff you can find affiliate programs for. It's pretty good. So very often you'll find something this way. And then you monetize it. You build a website, you write a review or something, you write a few articles, and you stick your promotion for that product in everywhere. Now, another thing, we just talked about some modifiers, right, that indicate buying keywords. So this is where Google Suggest becomes really interesting. If I go back to Google here, if I start typing in skin care, you see that it gives me suggestions, right? RX, products, physicians, reviews. Now, if I type in skincare space A, it gives me a new list of suggestions. And then I type in B, it gives me a new list of suggestions, and so on. Now, what this module in SE Cockpit does, the Google Suggest Synonyms module, is it does that automatically. It adds a space, it adds all the numbers from 0 to 9, and it adds all the letters from A to Z, and checks for these Google suggestions here, and does a keyword search for them. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to go where to buy, and then just use Google Suggest. And that will basically give me only buying keywords. That's only people who are looking, where can I buy this? So all that's left to do after that is find a product that you can promote. So let's see what we come up with here. Now, I want to see if there are any questions about this. I'll look at that.
That's actually a pretty awesome way to start a fantastic keyword search. Never thought of that.
But you can do the same thing with coupons, deals, special offers, whatever, and you can also use the other keyword sources to find more keywords, right? Now we have 360 keywords where to buy. So let's filter and kick out the ones that don't get any searches. So I'm going to say I want more than 10 visitors a day. Let's not do that, because if someone's typing in where to buy, I'll take like 5 visitors a day, because you can make money off of 5 visitors a day on a keyword like this. So let's do that, and then let's just kick out. These are the competition bars, right? The more orange you see here, the higher the competition for the keyword. So let's apply filters, kick out the more difficult keywords. I'm going to go really easy here and say kick out everything that has a higher than 50 out of 100 competition value. Okay, and here as well. So now we're left with 50 keywords that are unbelievably easy to rank for, where people are actually looking to buy something and well, where to buy weed. I don't know if there's an affiliate program for that, but there's, and that's the most popular one too, right? But fair enough. But you know, where to buy essential oils? I bet there's an affiliate program for that. Tea tree oil, absolutely. Quinoa, of course. Liquid nitrogen is probably someone who wanted to build a bomb. But yeah, there's stuff in here. I mean, I'm actually surprised that there are so many where to buy keywords with such low competition. There's some interesting stuff in here. And if you found something like essential oils, right, where to buy essential oils, the next step would be you could either expand or do a new keyword search. So I'd just go broad again with essential oils. Oops, oils, like that. And let's just do a normal search for that to get some more ideas, to see what, you know, what other people are searching for concerning or related to essential oils, to give me some ideas what else to put on my website.
Now, while it's doing that, Shane, I think we've got a few people, you know, on the webinar who are maybe seeing SEO Cockpit for the first time, and you know, just to really emphasize what's going on in the background, what SEO Cockpit is actually doing. I mean, to be able to display all of this data, to be able to present a competition bar, we are downloading the top ranking results for every single keyword, and we're getting the competition data from SEO Moz to be able to make this kind of listing of all the data. So there's an incredible amount of processing going on the server right now to make this kind of data listing possible. In comparison to virtually any other keyword tool, you would have to do this step for every single keyword. So for example, the first keyword we've got in the list now, essential oils, to be able to, you know, present some sort of competition value, you need to go and double click that keyword in most other keyword tools and wait for about 1 to 2 minutes for the tool to get all the data, to get the top 10 ranking results, to get the competition data from whatever source they get it from. And then you have to copy and paste it into some Excel sheet, for example. And SEO Cockpit does all of this in one go. So you just enter a keyword phrase, and there's hours of work just within, you know, a couple of minutes, as you can see here.
Right. That's very important. And that's really the essential thing with SEO Cockpit. The thing that sets it apart from other keyword tools is that there's no second step involved in the keyword research process, because the entire set of data that other keyword tools usually do one by one is already processed. So if we look at these competition bars, and actually let me just we have this split up into the top 3 positions, then 4 to 7 and 8 to 10. And we're going to be offering a simplified view of this pretty soon. But essentially what you see here, this orange bar here tells us how strong is the competition for this keyword. And if I go and look at some of these results, I can double click on any result. And this orange bar is a summarized value of a competition of all of the top 10 currently ranking websites. This kind of data you usually have to get in a second step. So with something like Market Samurai, you'd have to click on the keyword and then wait for a minute or two until all of these, all of these rows are filled out with data. With SEO Cockpit, that's already happened, and all of this data you're seeing here is based on what's already happened in the background. And you have things like the page rank or the Moz rank value here. and you can see how many backlinks pages have, and then you have page authority and domain authority. And these are values that we get from SEO moz. And SEO moz, they basically simulate Google. They simulate the way Google ranks pages, and these authority values are based on a whole bunch of ranking factors. They take into account things like backlinks, backlink quality, the age of the site, the quality of content on the site, all of that kind of stuff. And these values go from 0 to 100. And of course, you'll have to, I mean, this is just something that you learn to work with if you've never used SEO moz data before. But you'll quickly get used to seeing these values and seeing, okay, this is the kind of value where I can get a site ranked easily, or this is going to be difficult. And yeah, all of that has happened in the background. As soon as these keywords come in, you have the entire set of data to play with. So what I was doing before with applying various filters to sift through these keywords is only possible because we have all of the data, right? I can't go and take a list of 2,000 keywords and reduce it down to a list of 50 keywords with high search volume and low competition unless I have good search volume data and good competition data for all of those 2,000 keywords. And that is where other keyword tools simply fall short, basically, because they don't give you that flexibility to play around with the data.
There was just a question about the visitors.
Yes.
Explain the visitor count more. I think that was from Ken. And basically the idea of the visitors value is instead of just showing the monthly searches, we've broken things down into the visitors you could actually get if you were ranking either in spots 1 to 3, spots 4 to 7, or spots 8 to 10. So you can see the highlighted keyword currently with 480 monthly searches. And what we do is we divide that value by 30, so we have a daily searches value. And then based upon studies that have been made, we can say about 40 to 45% of people click on the results placed in the first 3 spots in Google. So that will be about 8 clicks a day for this keyword if you are ranking in the top 3 positions. About 10% of the searchers click on results 4 to 7, and 1% or less click on results ranking at positions 8 or higher. So it kind of gives you a best guess at how many clicks you could be getting onto your website from that keyword if you were ranking at these positions.
Right. There are a lot of questions. I have to say there are a lot of questions.
It's fantastic.
It's great, yeah, but
yeah.
I'm trying to
get to
where are we going to start?
Well, I'll just answer a few of them. One question was, does SE Cockpit run on a Mac?
Right.
And yes, it does. It runs on any kind of machine, well, virtually any modern PC or Mac, or on Linux as well. It's a web-based application, meaning it's basically a website. You just type in the URL into your browser, you log in with your account, and you've got the program within your browser. You can log in from anywhere in the world, and you've got all your data always with you. So we've got that sorted.
Right.
Do you want to carry on trying to answer a few questions?
Yes.
Okay.
Here's an important one, but I think you already mentioned that, but just to emphasize it, these search numbers are all exact match search numbers. So we don't use any broad match or phrase match numbers. And if you're unsure about what all that is, you can watch one of the videos I'll be sending out with this recording where I explain that. But yeah, it's all exact match. So these traffic estimates are, while they're still just estimates, it's not going to be spot on, but they're pretty close from what we've seen. They're pretty close to what you can actually expect in terms of visitors. Oh, here's a great question. Let me. I also want to. For those of you who aren't yet very familiar with SE Cockpit, I know that this is kind of probably a lot all at once, and I do want to explain some more of the basics. But here's another example, because I think you can see really well what SE Cockpit does and how you can use it if we just go through a few examples. So here's a question about local marketing. Now, the first thing I want to show you is how you can use this for local searches, because, in fact, let me contrast that. If I go, let's say I go Chicago plumber, I'm going to show you two ways you can do local searches. I'm not going to, I mean, I could change this to USA or whatever, but it's going to be Chicago anyway, so never mind. So I'm just going to do a search using the normal Google keyword source for Chicago plumber. Then I'm going to do a new search, again for Chicago plumber. And this time I'm going to say I want to include the term Chicago, which makes sense for a local search, right? Because I want, if I'm working with a client in Chicago, I want that city name to be in there, right? And I'm going to save and close, and now I have these two different searches running.
So while it's doing that, yeah, the include feature forces every result to include the keywords you entered there, whereas if you just do a broad search, it will try and find related keywords to both or to all of the entered keywords, right?
Exactly. So here you can see this is where I just did the normal search, and this is the problem you usually have. Again, with other keyword tools where you don't have this option, you're trying to look for a keyword for a Chicago plumbing client, and you get stuff like drain cleaning, plumbing tools, plumbing problems, blocked toilet, and so on, which these are all related to plumbing, but they're not related to Chicago, and they're not very useful for you if you're working with a client in Chicago. And on the other hand, here you have keywords that are all related to plumbing and Chicago, which is a much better list to work with. Now, as it is, here there's a question about, well, there are two parts to this question, and one is, you know, if you look at the niche value, and the niche value is an indicator of how much traffic you can get compared to how competitive a keyword is. So if you have a keyword with a good amount of traffic and low competition, that will have a large green bar here, because that's an indication that's an interesting keyword probably. And with local keywords, you usually have very low niche values. That's because the search volume tends to be very low. But that's fine, okay? With local marketing, that's just the way it is. I mean, you just don't have that many searches for local keywords, and that's fine. So here what you can do is you can check out, first of all, the most popular keywords. So you can see it's actually Chicago plumbing that gets searched for more often than plumber, Chicago. And Chicago plumber is actually quite far behind in terms of how many people search for it, behind Chicago plumbing. That's a good thing to know. And you can also check how competitive these keywords are. And let me see. Oh yeah, and then grayed out numbers. I don't think we have any grayed out numbers here. But what does happen is when something gets less than 30 searches a month, then the keyword will appear grayed out, because that's such a low search volume that it's hardly ever worth optimizing for that. And that can happen with local keywords. And with a local keyword, it might be an exception where you can say, hey, even if it's 10 searches a month, I'm still going to make a page for that. But in most cases, you know, if you can't even get a visitor a day on the first spot, it's not really worth investing too much time and effort into getting ranked, right?
There was a question about how to interpret, you know, the competition value, the orange bar. I think we've covered it a few, you know, we've already covered it, but just to explain how competitive is a full bar and how not competitive is an empty bar. Basically, the idea of the competition bar is to provide a range which is doable. So, for example, if we have a look at Power Plumbing Chicago, yeah. You just go ahead, Shane.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So if we look at, this would be an easy keyword, because as you can see, I just picked one with, where was it? Maybe it was here. Power Plumbing in Chicago had very low, very small orange bar. And what you can see here is that backlinks, for example, most of these pages don't have any valuable backlinks going to them at all. Domain authority, most of these sites are not sitting on highly authoritative domains. We have a few, 92 is a high domain authority, 82 is high, 97 is high, but we also have a lot of 19, 59 isn't terribly high, 76 is kind of average. So these aren't like, huge authority sites that you're up against, not at all. Page authority is also, gosh, it's so small, right? This basically just means these are generally small, rinky-dink websites. These are not like behemoths that you're up against. And then we have Moz rank, which is the same as page rank. We have a few zeros. And all of this tells me that for this keyword, I can get a site ranked. All I have to do is build a few backlinks to it, optimize the site nicely for this keyword, and that's pretty much it. I don't need like a huge website. I don't need I don't need tons of content and all that kind of thing. This will be very easy to rank for. Now, someone's asking, what kind of numbers do we want to see here? Now, in general, if you look at Moz rank here, and you kind of want to look at the overall, like almost the average value here, because just because there's one or two high numbers in here doesn't mean that the keyword is very difficult. But you can see here, anything that's like below 4 is going to be fairly easy. With page authority, anything below 50 is going to be pretty easy. Domain authority is only dangerous in combination with other high numbers. So here, for example, we have a YouTube video ranking purely on the domain authority. That's the only thing this video has going for it, because it doesn't have any Moz rank, it doesn't have any page authority, it doesn't have any backlinks. This YouTube video is only sitting here because it's on YouTube, and YouTube is an authority site. So unless you see high domain authority and high other values, that's not really anything to worry about either. And on the other hand, if we look at a very difficult keyword, let's see what we have here. Here, the main reason this is a difficult keyword is backlinks, because you can see several of the sites here have thousands or hundreds or up to thousands of valuable backlinks going to the site. Page authorities are low. This is actually a great sign. This means that if you go in, even if your website is new and you just build enough backlinks, you can break into the top here, right? Because it's not, again, it's not huge authority sites with lots of backlinks sitting at the top. And here you can see there are no page rank zeros. Almost all of them are above 4. That's, again, a sign that it's going to be a bit tougher. And I have, by the way, I have a post that you can access through the dashboard as well about these values, where you can see some examples and detailed discussions about these values.
That was just a really good question. I mean, it's maybe, clear for a lot of people on the call, but maybe there are a few people who are asking the same question. Mm-hmm. Simply, how do I build backlinks? And, it's quite a, might be a good way to, or good time to quickly show, the SE Cockpit projects.
Right.
That's it.
By the way, shall I hand the screen over to you, or?
No, you just, maybe later. Okay. I think it's fine.
So, how to build backlinks? What we have to help you with that is, once you've found an interesting keyword, let me just grab one of these. Let me just grab one of these where to buy keywords. Okay, I'm going to drag this over into my projects folder, and you can actually create and keep track of your projects here. Now, let's say I buy this domain. I don't know if this, maybe I choose a different domain. Doesn't really matter. Let's say I buy this domain, and what you can use at any rate is you can use the SE Cockpit default tasks, because what SE Cockpit will do, it will actually give you tasks and tell you how and where to build backlinks to promote this site. Now, if you're also, for example, a Backlink Battle Plan customer, then you can activate this and get Backlink Battle Plan tasks. And if you use, let's say, Build My Rank and maybe Article Marketing Robot, these are software products for backlink building, you can activate those as well. And then you can get tasks. So I'm going to save this as it is and go into the tasks module here. And this will tell me what to do. And the first thing it tells me to do, this is like maintenance, a maintenance kind of thing. So if I've built my website, and it tells me, okay, go and check your titles and descriptions, make sure that they contain your keyword. And that's one of the important factors for optimizing your page. So I'm going to say, yeah, I've completed that. And then get your site indexed by Google. And in here you'll find some suggestions on how to get Google to notice your website and start indexing it. So let's say I've done all that. Save and close. Double check links to offers. So that just tells me you make sure that your affiliate links are working, otherwise you won't get paid. And then it goes and gives me tasks like create 3 forum links, and there's instructions on how to do that. And I can complete that, and then it goes create profile links, create bookmark links, create a video, and at any time I can always get more tasks. Okay, so here it says, what did I select there? Yes, I selected Article Marketing Robot. So here it says submit one spawn article to Article Marketing Robot. And basically what it does is it gives me a list of tasks to go through to promote the site. So if you're wondering how do I build backlinks, this is how you build backlinks. You simply follow the instructions in here. And Mike is just asking if the Backlink Battle Plan tasks are being updated. Yes, I uploaded the first version, I think, today. And in the next few days, you'll get the new task list there. So in essence, because we know that this whole SEO thing and how to do all that can be challenging and it can be difficult to get all that right, we've built in these tasks which you can simply follow the on-screen instructions. Basically, take some time every day to do that, and you'll get the results. You'll get those backlinks, and that's how you get ranked. At this point, let me just quickly go in, because we are going to keep going here, but I also want to mention that we've actually set up a special offer for this webinar, which, if you're interested in getting it, you can get it right now. You can go to secockpit.com/special. That's a special page we created, secockpit.com/special. You can type that in, and the special offer that we have is that we are offering a 5-day trial for $1. Okay, so if you're not quite sure about this SE Cockpit thing, not quite sure if you want to try this or how much you're going to use it, you can sign up, $1. You can use it for 5 days, and try it out, play around with it, see what you can find, and if you don't like it for some reason, you can simply cancel, and it costs you nothing but $1. So pretty good deal, right? And we have 2 packages. You can either have the monthly package, which is $77 a month, which is currently still about 20% off of the price it's going to be in about a week's time. So we're going to raise the price in about a week. And you can get a 50% off deal if you pay half a year at a time, which is only $297 for 6 months, which comes down to what, like $49 a month or something? That's,
yeah, pretty much.
So it's barely $1.50 a day. It's not an awful lot for the power in this tool. So, and as I said, you can get this right now. It's secockpit.com/special. That's where you can get this $1 trial. And yes, the price is locked in for renewals. So if you sign up now at this price, you'll be locked in at this low price you're seeing right now for as long as you remain a member. So even if we raise the price later on, that won't affect you at all. You'll just keep the subscription you sign up to right now. All right.
Cool comment from Sai. He said, you can make $582 within the 5-day trial.
That's fair enough. Yeah, if you know what you're doing, I guess you can, yeah. And yes, if you sign up for the monthly subscription, and then you later decide you want to upgrade to the half-yearly subscription, you can do that and keep the low price as well. Now, I also want to, if we go back to the tool here, I mean, as you can see, I'm running this in a browser, so this is an online application. And, you know, we talked about how this thing gets all of the data for all of the keywords immediately, all of this stuff happening in the background. As you can imagine, this takes a lot of processing power. Okay, this takes a lot of processing power. And this data that we're getting this data from SEO mods. These are the SEO mods values. This is, in my opinion, the best possible data you can be working with for SEO. Specifically, these authority values are fantastic. And just let me just show you that. Just to show you that I'm not joking about this. Because if you want to get this data outside of SE Cockpit, it will cost you at least $99 a month. Okay. If you want to get access to this kind of SEO data, it will cost you at least $99 a month. So, and this is pretty expensive, you know. It's pretty expensive running this tool. It's pretty expensive pulling in all this data for all these keywords all the time, having this all set up. Unlike desktop tools, you will never have to worry about your IP getting banned or anything like that. You don't have to install anything. You don't have to update anything. You don't have to worry about whether it's compatible with your system or not. This will always work. And if you have a desktop application simply cannot do the things that SE Cockpit does. A desktop application could not possibly get all of this data through your internet connection. And you'd have to buy like 1 million proxies and all that stuff to get all this done. You never have to worry about anything like that. And that's why it's a continuous price. We have to charge a monthly or half yearly fee. Otherwise, we'd just run out of money in no time at all, because it costs a lot of money every day to get this keyword data. But then you have to think about, if you're being serious about this SEO thing, if you're being serious about whatever it is you do, whether you build your own affiliate sites or whether you do consultation or SEO for other people, for local marketing, or whatever it is you do with keywords. I mean, if you're serious about your SEO, then I think, as I said, $1.50 per day isn't a huge investment to make, and this is where it starts. You find the awesome keywords. That's where it starts. That's where you start with a profitable SEO campaign, and you start making that money back. And it doesn't take that much, right? It doesn't take that much to make $1.50 a day. You make an AdSense site. You get a few clicks a day. That pays for SE Cockpit twice over. So should be good. Now, here's actually an interesting question that I just caught out of the corner of my eye about the Google Wonder Wheel. And we used to have a search option for Google Wonder Wheel, and we don't have that anymore. Oops, wrong button.
Just have to warn you about that. There's been another change today.
Oh God, okay.
But you still go ahead and you can say. Actually,
if I do a search for, so what we basically found a replacement for the Google Wonder Wheel, and that's the related searches. What we're doing now is we're scraping related searches, right? And now apparently today the feature isn't working. That's too bad. But instead of the Google Wonder Wheel, you can now scrape these results here, and these are almost the same keywords that showed up in the Wonder Wheel. So we found a way to kind of replicate what the Wonder Wheel did, and we'll be including that in SE Cockpit again with the next update.
Yeah, it's just a really small change they made again to the related searches. It'll probably be up and running again in a few hours after the webinar. I just noticed that they made a change, just shortly before the webinar. Shouldn't be a big deal.
Fair enough. And yeah, these are very similar keywords to what Google Wonder Wheel was. I think the Wonder Wheel is gone for good. I didn't see any official announcement or anything, but it seems to me that it's just gone. They disappeared it last week sometime, and I don't think it's coming back, which is too bad because it was pretty neat. All right, we're way off topic here, but I guess that happens with Q&A.
Maybe you could we could do some more examples how to use the filters. For example, Jay's asking how to determine a good AdSense keyword. So maybe if we could just do a quick search and filter to show the power of how easy it is to get to a really cool AdSense keyword. That means if you want to build a website where you want to monetize with AdSense.
Right. So let me just close some of these tabs here. Let's do a new search for something. Oh, I don't know. Any ideas what I could use as a seed keyword for AdSense? Let's try something like certification.
Oh, that's good.
Save and close. So I'm going to do a search for certification, and so with AdSense, I'm assuming you're all aware of how AdSense works, right? And one of the things is, essentially you have ads like, where are they? I don't have any ads here anymore. Ads like this. You have ads like this on your site, created by Google. And the cool thing is, I have to say, AdSense is like one of the coolest ways to start earning money online, because you can leave the selling up to Google. Okay, you don't have to worry about how am I going to pick the right offer, how am I going to convince people to click on my link and buy that, buy the product and so on. You don't have to care about any of that because Google does that automatically. It looks at what is your article related to, and it automatically displays ads, text ads like this, that are closely related to what your article is about. And now these ads for the advertiser, some of them cost a lot of money, some of them don't cost a lot of money. And of course, the more money an ad costs for an advertiser, the more money you get when someone clicks on an ad on your site. So if I just look at this list of keywords that we got here, 800 keywords related to certification, I'm going to sort these by CPC. And the CPC is the cost per click. That is, how much does an advertiser need to pay for one click from Google, and that is in the search results here. So that's not exactly the same as the prices you get on your own website if you have AdSense on your site, but it's an indicator. These values aren't very exact. Be warned, okay? These values aren't very exact, but it's an indicator. So if you have a keyword like online teacher certification, which has a $24 cost per click, imagine that, $24 per click. That's a lot, right? So you can assume that if you have a website which has an article on it about online teacher certification, and it's optimized for this keyword, then AdSense will automatically display this type of ad that gets this kind of click price next to this article. Whenever someone clicks on it, you get what you get, like 65%, I think. You get 65% of the cost per click. So if this were true, if I actually got a $24 cost per click ad on my site and someone clicks on that ad, I'd get like $14, something like that, which would be very nice, right? Just for someone clicking on my ad. Now, how do you find good AdSense keywords? Well, the first thing is we want to have a high cost per click. So I'm going to sort these by search volume first. Basically, what we want is we want to have a keyword that gets, we want to have some keywords that we can get ranked easily, where we can, that have low competition and a reasonable amount of search and a good CPC. So let's look for those first. So I want a reasonable amount of visitors. I'm going to filter this column and say I want more than, let's 30 visitors a day. Let's see what we're left with when I do that. Okay, that's 145 keywords left in the list. Now I want to get rid of the most competitive keywords. Or actually, let's go like this. CPC value, I want that to be higher than $1 per click. Okay, that's still a lot. And now let's see what the easiest keywords are to rank for here. Dodd-Frank certification, whatever that is. $3.46 CPC, pretty easy to rank for according to these orange bars. 66 visitors a day. This is a juicy keyword for AdSense. Very, very nice. So let's have a closer look here. Oh yes, that is, at first glance, that looks like a pretty easy keyword because we have a lot of page rank 0, no backlink stuff listed here. We have low domain authority. We have low page authority. This is a fantastic AdWords keyword.
Awesome.
I want to go build it. Great keyword. Okay, so that's fantastic. And $3 per click. I mean, again, this is only an indication, but this is the kind of keyword where you'll probably get maybe $1 or so per click you get on your site. That's really good. NRP certification, QTP certification. I don't know what any of this stuff is, but these are all very interesting keywords. Very nice. And we could probably raise our standards and still find some good keywords. So maybe increase the minimum CPC and still get some good keywords. Now, once we found something like this, let's say I don't know what this NRP certification thing is, or let's use the QTP one. I'm gonna go and create a folder over here, certification AdSense site, like that, and create a new folder, which is here now, and I'm gonna grab this keyword here and put it in here. So that just stores the keyword so I can reference it later. So I've done that. Now I want to do a new search for QTP certification. Because what I also want to know, and I'm just going to, actually no, I'm going to use Google Suggest. Because what I also want to know is, I don't want a one-page website, right? I don't want a one-page website. So I want to see if there are any related keywords that are also interesting in terms of AdSense, so that are also interesting for getting a bit of traffic at not too much competition and good cost per click value. Now, someone just commented, Trent just commented, the trend on this keyword isn't very good. Oh God. Let's see. Oh, okay. The drop here, let me see though.
Yeah, the drop is probably because they haven't got any data.
Right.
It's kind of I mean, you can just open up any keyword. I've noticed the trend that Google shows usually always has a drop for the very, for the newest. Yeah.
Exactly. That's like when you log into your analytics, and it's always a drop at the end because today you haven't had any visitors yet. Like if you log into your analytics at midnight, right?
Exactly.
Then or the newest day always has the lowest trend value. So here I wouldn't be too worried. I would check the news if something catastrophic has happened concerning QTP, although it would spike up first before it would go down. So I think this isn't something you need to worry about. This looks like a good enough trend. But I mean,
apparently, I think he meant another keyword.
Oh, all right.
I think he was talking about the Dodd-Frank certification. I don't know.
Oh,
so
okay, yeah. This one has definitely passed its prime.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay. So let's see if we have anything here. QTP certification. What am I sorting these by? Here we go. All right, let's see. Yeah, this doesn't look too fruitful. So here I'm not too happy with that. I'd go and look for a different, I'd go and try a different one of these and expand again, because what I want to find is a keyword, a good like base main keyword plus other keywords that are also good AdSense keywords that I can build a site around, because I basically build one page for each keyword, right? So this, I'm not too happy with this. I would have to go and find out what QTP stands for though, because maybe I could do a search on whatever the full written out thing for QTP is and find some more keywords. So there I'd have to go to Google or Wikipedia or something to study this a bit further. And whenever I find good keywords, I'd go and put those, so that, let's say this is a good one. It's not that great, but I could just put those into my folder here. So I can build up a folder that contains interesting keywords that I can then refer to. All right, does that make sense? Do you see how you could build up a little keyword group for an AdSense site using that method?
I think it's really it's fantastic the way you explained it. First of all, we find a great niche keyword out of a huge list, but then we go a step further. We're not just going to build a small site around one keyword. We're going to dig further and try and find related keywords to that niche word. So we can build sort of more a MIDI-sized website with more content, with obviously more opportunities to rank, and so we can get more traffic onto our website. So we're not just targeting one single keyword. We're going to target a whole group of keywords. I think that's a really important thing, or great method of using SE Cockpit for finding groups of keywords.
Right, exactly. And so Anita asks, how many pages do you have on an AdSense site? Well, as many as are profitable. I mean, with AdSense sites, and I have to say, I don't have many AdSense sites. That's not my main thing. But what I have done with AdSense is that I found a few keywords like this, and then I've paid someone to write articles. So I'll just send them a keyword list. I'll just send them a keyword list. I say, I want one article each on each of these keywords, and I pay them, something like $10 per article. And then I see, I do some backlink building, all that stuff, and I see if this is profitable. So if I see, okay, I'm actually getting a bit of traffic, I'm getting clicks, I'm making my money back, I'm making the money back that I've invested in the site, and it's going well, then I go, okay, looks good, find some more keywords, right? Find some more related keywords, get someone to create more pages. And that's when I'm doing AdSense sites, and I don't really care that much about the niche or anything. I mean, I'm paying someone else to write the content and so on. It may not be the best content in the world. There it's really just about ROI. It's just about return on investment. If I'm in a niche where I'm more involved, then it's a bit of a different story. So when I write the posts myself, I maybe do some social media stuff and so on. It's a different story. The site will grow more slowly, but with higher quality content. And so it really depends. But in a sense, for any site you build, you want to make as many pages as you can make while still increasing the profitability of the site. Okay. There's no real upper limit, because in general, every additional page you have on your site will get you a bit more traffic. As long as you're making money from that traffic, that's a good thing.
Do you think it would be worth it to have a quick look at an example of an AdSense page? Because I'd have an example to share.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I mean,
Shall I give the screen to you?
No, maybe you could just open it. I think it's a bit quicker. It's just a project I noticed on Flipper. Flipper is a platform where you can buy and sell websites, and the website's school-grants.org. School-grants.org. It's on the #1 page for the keyword school grants. School grants is probably searched for quite a lot, and this page got sold for $80,000. Okay.
Nice. All right. So this is an AdSense site, and you can see here ads by Google. This here looks a bit like a navigation menu, but it's actually ads. Someone clicks on these links, the person who owns the site gets money. These are AdSense ads. These are AdSense ads. These are AdSense ads. They're all over the place, as you can see. And then you can see over here, here are the keywords, basically, right?
Yeah.
That this person picked. Business, school, grants, and here he's getting targeted business school grant ads displayed with this article. And yeah, I think this is a great example. So you have school grants, grants for women, Pell grants, nursing grants, minority grants. Every one of these is a keyword that whoever built this site picked out and found, yeah, that's a good page to add. And as you can see, they kept adding pages until they got fed up with it and sold it for $80,000. That's pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think the content's that intriguing. I mean, if you just, browse through it, I mean, it's really, it's probably your typical content farm,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know how, in the face of the changes Google's made, I don't know how well this will be preserved in the long run.
Maybe that's why you sold it.
Possibly, yeah. But he's still on number one. He's not on the first page. I mean, he's a bit further down. I think position 8 or so.
Right. Here he is. That's still not bad. Yeah. All right.
I mean, he used to be at number 1. I remember that. But anyway.
No, that's great. Okay. So what else do we have? So I'm sure we have a lot of more questions to get to. Let me just quickly remind everyone, you can get the special offer for SE Cockpit. If you want to try this out, there's basically no risk for you. And by the way, I have my pitch slides in here. I'm not going to go through all of those. I'm just going to summarize. SE Cockpit is the best tool ever. Buy it now. And this is the one I wanted to show you. We also have a 30-day money-back guarantee. I also want to mention that. So we have a 30-day money-back guarantee, and we have a $1 trial. Because here's the deal. If you're doing anything related to SEO and keyword research, you will love SE Cockpit. We know that. And you will see that it's worth far more than we're charging for it. So we just want to take the risk out. Okay? So first of all, no risk because you can get your money back in 30 days, within 30 days. And second of all, no risk because you can get a $1 trial, 5 days for just $1. So hopefully we can we can just lower the barrier of entry, so to speak. Go and take a look at this tool, take it for a spin, and you'll also see another thing I want to quickly mention is that we have very extensive training in here. We have a downloadable manual, we have tutorial videos, lots of them. We have bootcamp training where we talk about, in general, how to build sites, how to get them ranked, and so on. And we have a help desk where you can contact us. So we offer support all the way. There's no risk if you're doing SEO, if you're doing keyword research. Give this tool a try because you'll absolutely love it, and I'm absolutely certain that it will make money for you. It will make you more money than it costs you very, very quickly. And Kevin says, you can tell anyone listening this is a no-brainer. I have already got it for 6 months. Thank you very much.
I've also got
yes.
Dominic from Tenerife, and he says, SE Cockpit is great, best tool I own. Thanks for that, Dominic. I know Dominic is using SE Cockpit really, very intensively for local marketing. He's a guy who specializes in local marketing, so yeah.
Cool. Trent just said, Shane, I'm going to produce an hour-long keyword research tutorial that highlights why I love SE Cockpit and post it on my blog. Yes, send me that link, and if I get it in time, I'll send it out with the email with the recording. I'll put that in there. Trent already wrote a pretty awesome, extensive review about SE Cockpit, and I know he's also using it for AdSense sites. He was actually typing in. As I was going through the AdSense example, he was constantly typing in more tips and stuff that I couldn't get to. But yeah, he knows his stuff with AdSense, and I know he's been using SE Cockpit as his main tool as well. So let me see what else we have. Let's see. Yes, this is being recorded. Yes. So Seth has a question. How to distinguish a site's worthwhile backlinks from non-valuable ones? Well, there's two answers to that. Let me go into one of these keywords lists. Doesn't really matter which one. We're just going to open one of these keywords. And the first thing is that SE Cockpit already makes that distinction for you, because we have a total number of backlinks and a number of juice links. Now, as a simple example, let's say you have, if we look at this here, this page has 27 juice links according to SEO Moz and 114 total links. Now, where's the difference, right? Think about this. Let's say there's a blog with many pages, a blog with 100 pages of content. And there's a sidebar in this blog. There's a sidebar element. And let's say you get a backlink from this sidebar. So the blog owner links to your site from their sidebar. Now, because it's in the sidebar element and you have the same sidebar on every page of the blog, that means that theoretically you have 100 backlinks. Right? You have one backlink from every single page of that website, or every single page of that blog. However, of course, Google comes along and finds these links and sees, okay, this is 100 times the same link from the same site to your site, and it doesn't give you credit for 100 links. Okay, of course, that's not the same as getting 100 links from 100 different websites. It's more like getting one link from one website, and that would be the difference. So in this example, you'd have a total link count of 100, but you'd only have one juice link, because in terms of how much link juice that's sending you, that's like one link, because all of the links are on the same site. The same goes, for example, for no-follow links, right? Links that have the no-follow tag, which basically tells Google, ignore this link. They would count towards the total backlinks, but not towards the juice links. If you want to have a closer look at that, one tool you can use, let me just mention that, give a quick out-shout to this site here. That's ahrefs.com, which is pretty interesting. And if you type in a site here, whatever the site is, I don't know, what do we have? Schoolgrants.org. You can get a detailed list of the backlinks, and these guys also crawl the web themselves. And so you can go and, if you want to do that, you can go and look at backlinks in detail and determine how valuable they are. That's just a small tip on the side. If you're a Backlink Battle Plan customer, by the way, there's a tutorial about this in there as well.
Can I just interrupt? Yes. Maybe that this is just a question. Now that you mentioned Backlink Battle Plan, someone asks, what is this backlink offer after signing up? Maybe you could just lose 1 or 2 words about that before continuing. Yes. Okay. So Backlink Battle Plan, if you sign up for SE Cockpit, you will get a special offer for Backlink Battle Plan, which is my course on how to build backlinks. This is, SEO and building backlinks is what I specialize in, and this course is just everything I know about how to build backlinks for free. Okay, this is all using free methods, how to get lots of backlinks, how to get high quality backlinks, and it's an entire course that simply teaches you from A to Z how to do that. So we wanted to add that as a special offer, because if that's, we know that a lot of people are struggling with that, with this whole backlink building thing, right? So that's a special offer you can take advantage of, and it's just a lower price than usual for SE Cockpit customers. So you can sign up for that if backlink building is something you want to learn more about. And okay, any other questions that caught your eye, Sam? Just a second. There was a question, does this show us how to build websites? I think that would be a good opportunity to, quickly lose a couple of words about our bootcamp series.
Yes. So we do have a training series that goes into some detail and that starts here, I think, yes, where you can get access to a series of videos. We'll start with this one here, and these videos are all about how to build a website starting from zero. You can start with this video, and then it goes, the next one is how to optimize your basic settings. Then we talk about WordPress themes. I like to use WordPress to build websites. It's one of the easiest ways. Then the next one, which went online just recently, is about WordPress plugins, and we talk about how to build your site, how to optimize your content, how to optimize your site in general, and so on. So yeah, so there is this training, and it's not, I mean, our main focus is always on the tool itself, but we do offer a basic, basically a basic startup training on all this stuff. And Mike just said, oh, thank you very much. Mike just said, I've learned more from Shane's free video training than all other paid courses combined. Thank you very much. All right, so, and once again, just someone's asking for the link again. Just to be sure, that's secockpit.com/special. You can sign up for the 5-day trial right now. And you have to go to this /special page, otherwise you won't see the trial, because that's just for this webinar. All right. Right, here's a question. Stephen asks, any new features coming up for SE Cockpit soon? Well, one new feature I want to talk about that I'm pretty excited about that shouldn't take too long. How's that for a non-committal statement? Shouldn't take too long if it comes out, is a rank tracker. So that because I think that's also very important when you're doing an SEO campaign. You want to be able to keep track of where are my pages actually ranking right now for the various keywords. And SE Cockpit will come with a rank tracking module, which will update that automatically. So you simply plug in, this is my website, this is the keyword I want to rank for, and SE Cockpit will automatically keep track of your rankings in the background. And that way you can really see, whenever you do link building, you can see what kind of an effect it has, because you can go and build links and then you see, okay, my ranking has increased. Or maybe you buy a backlink packet from someone, you pay someone to build links for you, and then you can watch your rankings and see, okay, they're going up. You can basically use their service again because it's just proven to be a good service. Or maybe you pay someone to do SEO for you and nothing happens to your rankings, so okay, that's probably not someone I should give more money to, right? Because that's the ultimate test of any kind of SEO you do, is do my rankings increase? And so we'll have a system that automatically keeps track of that. And it will be a free update for everyone who currently is signed up to SE Cockpit. And yes, you can track all of your sites. You'll be able, there'll be an upper limit, where at some point, if you track like 50,000 keywords or something, you'll have to pay us extra to do that. We can do that, but we'll be, I don't know exactly what the limit will be, but they'll be within reason. Unless you own a ton of websites, you'll be able to track all of them without paying anything extra.
Scott's really keen to know when.
Right. I'm not gonna make a statement here. It's just gonna be with software development. It always takes longer than you think. So the answer is soon.
But we can say, what we've done to make it sooner than, if it was just the two of us. We've actually been able to employ a new developer. So things are going to go quicker. So we're pretty excited about that. We've got another really awesome developer on our team. So you can expect really cool things coming up over the next months.
Yes, indeed.
Scott says chicken.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Okay.
Oh yes. Okay. So here's a good point. Mike says about ranking. You know, how well can you even track where your site is ranking in Google? Because your Google results, the Google results I'm looking at right now, are not going to be the same Google results that you see probably if you do the same search, because it depends on many factors. Like there's personalized search, so it depends on what type of sites you were visiting previously. There are social factors, so sometimes it will show you websites. You know, if you're following someone on Twitter, then Google will notice that, or if you're connected to someone through Gmail, for example, Google will see, okay, you're connected, and if they wrote a blog post about something that you're doing a search for, they will rank their site in your search result, but in no one else's. And they have all kinds of stuff like that going on, right? So everyone's search results can be slightly different. And that's a problem with rank tracking. So it's not a 100% accurate thing. But in general, you can say that, you know, we basically track the neutral Google results. What someone sees who doesn't have a search history in Google and who isn't connected to anyone who does that search, what they will see. And if you, in general, see your rankings climb for that search, you can assume that for most people, in most cases, you will have a higher ranking as well.
Alexander asks if we've already, you know, thought of the Google +1 button, you know, incorporating that into SE Cockpit, and that's on our development list as well, that we want to incorporate social media factors. So things like how many Facebook shares and likes have the URLs got, how many tweets have they got, and also, if it's possible, how many of the new Google +1 flags have these pages got. So definitely something we're working on.
Right. Yes, that'll be pretty big when it happens. And Scott says, sometimes I think I should not use Gmail accounts. Well, if you use anything that's associated with Google, they are spying on you as much as they can. You can be certain of that. That's just the way it works. And gosh, there are so many questions here. I'm really afraid that we missed more questions than we answered, even though we've been at it already 1.5 hours already. But let me see. By the way, is there anything, Sam, is there anything that you want to like demonstrate or show, or anything where you need the screen, or shall I keep it?
I think for the moment it's fine. You just
okay.
You can just keep the screen. Maybe I did see a couple of questions, you know, about
okay.
diamonds. You know, asking what's the diamond and that kind of stuff. I don't know if you've got a keyword list with a few diamonds. Otherwise, you know what sort of search you could do. Ah, there we go.
Well, here's just one I saved at some point.
Okay.
So sometimes you'll see that this niche bar is completely filled with green, and there's a diamond next to it. And so here's what you need to understand about this. The niche value is a relative value, meaning that what we're looking at is the amount of traffic you get, as well as how competitive the keyword is. And the primary function of this is to make sure that whenever you look at any keyword list, like this one here, if I sort this by the niche value, from highest to lowest, the primary function of this is that the uninteresting keywords are at the bottom of the page. Okay, because if I go down, and actually let me just sort it the other way around. So the lowest niche value shows up first. Here we have some examples. Microsoft certified, right? This gets 43 searches more than actually, wait a second, let me remove the filter and it will get worse. Here we go. So here we have something like this, computer forensics certification, interestingly enough. You'd get 15 visitors a day, roughly, for getting a top ranking for this keyword, okay? And it's just solid orange. That's how difficult it would be. So it would be super difficult to get this ranking. Now, in most cases, it's not worth, I mean, this would be a really hard fight getting to the top spot for this keyword. And in most cases, it's just not worth going after a keyword that gets almost no searches, but is so competitive, right? So we can agree that, and this is, these two things combined, low traffic and high competition, result in a very low niche value. And I think we can agree that in most cases, these are the least interesting keywords, and with normal sorting by the niche value, these keywords are way at the bottom of the list. So right in the standard view, if we look at like the first page of results here, these are all potentially more interesting keywords. Now there are two possibilities for a high niche value. One is a good amount of traffic and very low competition. And this, I think the one I looked at here, this would be one of these. I mean, you can get like up to 400 visitors a day for this keyword, and the competition is pretty low. So that's a super interesting keyword, right? Another scenario, another possibility is that a keyword has high competition, but it has extremely high traffic. So you might get thousands of visitors a day, and then you still have a high niche value, because for thousands of visitors a day, it might be worth, putting up a bit of a fight to get a top ranking. And the diamond is simply an indicator of this is probably a very interesting keyword, and it's just a little highlight. Because if you see diamond keywords, you should take a second look at that. But the important thing to keep in mind is that it's a relative value. It's relative concerning traffic and competition level. Did that make sense? Here's a good question I just caught. With these ranking positions, right? If we have the traffic estimate, if you look at this value here, 490 visitors a day, that would be for the top position. That would be for position number 1, not for positions 1 to 3 combined. So that would be for position number 1, you get about 490 searches. Then for positions 4 to 7, that would be position 4, you probably get about 100. And position, I don't even know, is that position 8 or position 10? The last one?
That will probably be position 8.
Okay, so in position 8 you'd get this value.
Yeah.
So these aren't combined values, for only the competition values are combined. So yeah, sorry if that's slightly confusing.
Well, it's kind of hard to say. Basically, the study we based this on, they made they tracked the places people clicked on, and basically the area where results 1 to 3 appear, that's where 45% of the people click.
Oh, I see.
So it is a combined value, I guess. And the area where positions 4 to 7 appear, that's where about 10% of the people click, etc.
Right, and you see an important factor is, I mean, again, these are estimates, right? And that's an important factor, because let's look at this result here. An important factor, apart from the position, obviously the position is really important. The higher up you are, the more likely you are to get clicks. But this is actually a great example. If you look at the first two results, the first result has a title that says schoolgrants.org, and then it has a description that starts with windowdecals.net. Right? So what the heck is this doing here? And the next one says school grants, college scholarships, college grants, and loans, and has more, relevant keywords in here. So I would not be surprised if for this result the second listing actually got more clicks than the first one, because you look at the first one, you're like, what? This must be, this is like the wrong result. But this one here actually has a much more interesting title, and the third one with free school grants is even more interesting, actually. Free money. It says free money here. This must get a lot of clicks. Who doesn't want free money, right? So this one is actually the most compelling description. And this is a very important factor, right? So if you want to get the maximum traffic, you don't only want to be in the top position, you also want to have a very interesting and compelling title. And this is your page title. This is your page meta description that shows up here. So these, what I'm trying to say is that these values are relatively fluid. It's not like set in stone that it's always exactly 40% of people who click on position number 1. Okay, what else do we have?
There's a good question with the gift.
Sorry,
you just go ahead.
Sorry, Ken just commented from Shane, start all meta descriptions with free money in capitals. That is not what I said, but it's worth a try. Okay, sorry, Sam, go ahead.
No worries. So, Doug's asking, what does it mean, or sort of, I think that what he's asking is, what does it mean if the competition is lower for the results 1 to 3 in comparison to 4 to 7 or 8 to 10?
Okay, yes,
that is something. Yeah,
that's a good question. So, let's see.
He specifically asked about gift certificate template. So you can see that's the second keyword there. And,
right, here we go. So let's take a look at this. So there are 2 reasons why this can happen. That you have, if we go back to here, that you have a lower competition strength value in the top rankings than in the middle here, which should be impossible, right? How can the middle pages be more difficult to outrank than the top pages? That doesn't make sense. And there are 2 reasons why that can happen. The first reason is simply that even though the data that we use to assess competition strength is very good, it's not perfect. Because the moment you have a competition algorithm that gives you a perfect descending value, where the top page always is slightly more than the page after it, slightly more than the page after it, and so on. The moment you have an algorithm that does that, you've unlocked the key to how Google ranks websites, right? If you had the perfect competition algorithm, if you knew exactly what Google was doing, you could do that. Unfortunately, we can't do that. We get pretty close with the data that we have and with the formula that we use. We get pretty close, but we're not quite there. So part of the reason you'll see that is because it's just imperfect. The analysis is imperfect. Another part of the reason can be, I don't think we have anything like that here. Let me just check. This seems quite weird. Another reason can be if there are exceptions in the rankings, basically. And one of the common exceptions is a YouTube video. So let's see if I type in QTP certification. Let's see if we can see that QTP certification. No video in my results. That's because I'm from Switzerland. Too bad. But I'm sure you've seen that. Actually, maybe let me try a different one, because I just used this as an example previously. It might have been creatine or review or something. Here we go. So here we have results where we have videos, YouTube videos listed in the results in the actual Google search results. I'm sure you've seen this before. Now, videos are an exception. When videos are ranked, you can be certain that these videos don't have the SEO power of the normal listings around them. So to get a video ranked, you don't need nearly as many backlinks as for a normal page, and you don't need nearly as well optimized content as for a normal page. So for some reason, Google makes exceptions for things like videos. It sometimes also makes exceptions for product listings like we see here. It sometimes makes exceptions for news entries and stuff like that. And this is something that can throw off the algorithm, because you'll have listings with hundreds of backlinks, then a video with 0 backlinks, another video with 2 backlinks. And then again, we're back to normal listings with hundreds of backlinks. And when that happens, it can look like the middle of the page here is easier to outrank than the top of the page. So those are the 2 reasons why that can happen. It makes exceptions for Google products too, says Jay, yes.
It would do, wouldn't it?
And John asks why I'm not using the local Google to do the searches, so that would be google.ch, and I'm not using that because then the results would be completely different, and there would be lots of German results in here, and that wouldn't be very helpful, I think. So you can do that. You can kind of neutralize Google by typing in /NCR, google.com/NCR. That will override the redirect to your local thingy. And by the way, speaking of YouTube videos ranking in the top results, this is a way that I've made a bit of money by getting YouTube videos listed. And one of the easiest ways is to find results where there's already a video, and then go and make a video that's better optimized for this keyword. On YouTube, you can see, okay, this is a YouTube video, so I'll make a video that's better optimized for this keyword than this one, build a few backlinks to it, and then what usually happens is that your video replaces theirs, because the video results, if we go to video results here, there's a separate ranking of just videos. And if you're seeing videos in the everything results here, it's always the #1 video that gets listed. Okay? If you can bump down in the video listings the top video, then your video is going to be here instead of his. And this is often not too difficult to do. And that's the reason why you can, if you customize your columns here we are, you can select to show YouTube videos ranking in the top 10. Because then you can, let's quickly sort them. You can find all of the keywords that have a current YouTube video ranking, and you can go and bump those out of their place. Pretty easy to do. And as I said, with a friend of mine, I made a very simple info product. We made an info product in an afternoon, and we placed a YouTube video. We bumped off another YouTube video for an interesting keyword, and we sell that product for like $7, and it's made us, I don't know, $600 or so, which isn't too bad for an afternoon's worth of work. And I've done this kind of traffic hijacking with videos quite often. So that's the reason why you can see these columns in here. Just for another little idea on how to make money with all this stuff. Stealth ninja tactics, says Sai. Yes, exactly. That's what I should call them. Oh gosh, now we're talking about YouTube rankings, aren't we? The views, I have found that views on your video, I think that's the question Ken is asking. Views on your video do affect the rankings, but not as much as just backlinks. Like, you can outrank the video that has 100,000 views if you just build more backlinks to yours.
So Jay's asking about our affiliate program. Maybe you could just quickly show the sign-up page on the Swiss Made Marketing website.
Yes. Oh, let me go to... Right. I'm going to put the link in here as well. So you can sign up to become an affiliate, and you can promote SE Cockpit as well. You can sign up here, and here you get all the information about our affiliate program if you want to. Let me just put that in the chat box. So you should get a clickable link. So if you want to sign up as an affiliate, you're very welcome to do so. And yeah, you can sign up here. All right. Any other pressing questions? I think we should wrap up because we're approaching 2 hours already, and that's really longer than I wanted to keep anyone here. So let me see if there are any. Are there any like general questions or pressing questions that we might have missed?
Well, there are a few feature requests still. So, but yeah, we'll keep. What I'm thinking of is doing some sort of roadmap on our website where we can sort of inform everyone on the new features we'll be implementing into SE Cockpit, so that everyone can sort of keep track of what we're doing and how we're making things better.
Right.
But
okay.
Can't see.
So if you're signed up to SE Cockpit, by the way, you always get update news as well. So Sam sends out newsletters when anything new happens, and for example, you also get newsletters about new training videos and bootcamp videos and stuff. And that's also, we have comments below our videos, so that's another opportunity where you can get in touch with us and ask any other SEO related questions and so on. If we missed your question on today's webinar, that's another way to get in touch with us. And you can also contact me. If you get an email from me, you can just hit reply on that email and contact me. I have to warn you though, my inbox is completely overflowing with emails, so it can take quite a while for me to get back to you on email requests. But I always try to answer all the emails that I get as well. Now, where are we? So one last time, let me just remind you, there's a special offer available on this webinar that you can get by going to secockpit.com/special. You can sign up for a $1 trial. You can sign up, cost you almost nothing. You can get in SE Cockpit. You can start playing around with it. You can follow our tutorials, find some really awesome keywords for your business, find some really awesome keywords to build new niche sites around, start making some money, and if for any reason you don't like it, you can quit within 5 days, and this costs you all of $1. Okay? No risk involved. Do it. Sign up. Get started with this, and then let us know how it's working for you. Let us know about your success stories. We've already had quite a few. We've already had a lot of great feedback from people who've used SE Cockpit in fantastic ways to make more money, to get more traffic to their business, and I hope you'll be one of them. I hope you'll be sending us an awesome testimonial pretty soon. So secockpit.com/special, get your $1 trial, and I'm looking forward to welcoming you aboard. Okay, anything else you want to add, Sam?
I think that's pretty much it. Look forward, to getting feedback either via our blog or via the help desk. Look forward to having people on board, and thanks for all the questions. I think it's been a great interaction with everyone who's been on the call tonight.
Absolutely, yeah. This has been fantastic. I'm very, very sorry that we could not keep up with the questions. There's approximately 1 million questions in the questions box here, and I'm surprised at that, but I'm delighted. I think it's great. I'm very sorry if we couldn't answer your question. We tried to cover everything. We tried to cover everything that stood out to us, or that we got multiple questions about. I hope this was helpful to you. I hope this was awesome. I will be sending out a recording, so if you want to watch the awesome stuff about how to find buying keywords and all that stuff, you can use this video as a reference. And that's about it. I think I've talked enough for today. So thank you very much for attending. Have a fantastic evening or a fantastic day, depending on where you are. Maybe go back to bed if you're in Sydney. And that's it. Thank you for coming. I'm signing off.
Thanks to everyone. That's me, Sam, signing off too. Take care.